He's back! Hey there, it's Rob, the Ignorant Entrepreneur, and I wanted to talk about a 31-year-old startup that went from having $200 in its bank account to being valued at over $6 billion in just 6 years. That company is a software firm known as Personio, which has become one of Europe's most valuable startups. It was when CEO Hanno Renner was speaking to CNBC, he was talking about how the business had just €200 or $226 left in the company bank account before it received its first real funding. Renner co-founded Personio in Munich, Germany in 2015 with Roman Schumacher, Arseniy Vershinin, and Ignaz Forstmeier. The four met while studying at the Center for Digital Technology and Management, a joint institution from the two main colleges in Munich. The idea for Personio, which is focused on serving small and medium-sized businesses, came from hearing how a friend was struggling to manage HR processes at a company where he was working as a chief technology officer because he didn't have the necessary software. So the four set out about creating a solution. As students, they didn't have an office, so they worked wherever they could find space at college to build Personio's first software product. They scrambled together any savings they had to help with the cost. Once they got customers paying to use that first piece of software, they used the revenue to buy their first software licenses, rent out a small office, and hire a small number of employees. Then in July 2016, Personio raised 2.1 million euros in a seed funding round with investors including Global Founders Capital, which has backed the likes of LinkedIn and Facebook, which recently rebranded as Meta. Renner said that before Personio could receive that first round of funding, the founders had to ensure that they paid any outstanding invoices, which he explained was a standard collection of fundraising deal. He said, and I quote, "I still have a screenshot from that bank account. We had like a couple €100 left in the bank account before we received our first round of funding, which was 2 million euros at the time, but it was really interesting how tight we were managing until then." Now, Personio's financial situation has changed dramatically since then, and in its latest Series E round of funding announced in October, Personio raised 270 million and was valued at 6.3 billion. That's quite a jump for the company considering that it was valued at 1.7 billion in January in its Series D round of investment. In total, Personio has now raised more than 500 million from investors. Now, why I was sort of interested in this is because it kind of reminded me of an idea my buddy Nick proposed to me, having to do with AI and recommending different steps for businesses to take in order to maximize profits, whether it was cutting costs here, cutting costs there, advising to look at particular sectors, yada yada. Pretty interesting. We'll see how it moves forward. But anyway, back to Personio. The latest batch of funding is being used to develop its new category of software called People Workflow Automation. This aims to remove software barriers between HR and other company departments. For instance, if various tasks need to be completed across different parts of a business when hiring an employee. Personio's rivals include fellow HR startups like Hibob, as well as larger incumbents like SAP and Salesforce. Now, heading up a multi-billion-dollar software business seems worlds apart from Renner's part-time job as a yacht skipper while he was in college. I will say that Renner mentioned it's not about being a boss or someone's boss, it's about wanting to encourage a level of ownership among the team. Renner said that he wanted to make sure employees are empowered to make the right decisions and empowered to act like an entrepreneur. And it should be noted that something's clearly working. Personio now has more than 1,000 members of staff, up from 350 employees in 2020. Let me know what you guys think. This was another video about a business, entrepreneurship, different lane. Don't forget to like and subscribe. This has been The Ignorant Entrepreneur. I'm out.